welcome everyone. And I'm with a great group of presenters and also people that are going to help me with the breakout room. I have Luis Porto, Michael Napoli, Anna Barona, and we have a bunch of different members from HiGSA in here in today's meeting. So today is a pleasure to introduce, I guess, in your life, this wonderful dish that is a coconut rice, arroz con coco. This is made especially in the Caribbean coast in Colombia. So maybe some of you are not familiar with that cuisine, with the Caribbean cuisine from Colombia. But I hope after this coffee hour, then you are an expert. Then after that, you are, you know what? I'm going to Colombia specifically. I'm going to the Caribbean coast because I'm gonna try the cuisine that they have over there. So I did not introduce myself. I'm sorry. My name is Nivia Escobar and a doctoral program, a third-year doctoral student, candidate doctoral student, I guess. And yeah, I'm working on my dissertation, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, everyone. So Luis, now it's your turn.
Thank you, Nivia. Thank you, Jan, for that wonderful introduction. But first, I would like to throw a question. Yali, you were saying that Chef Virginia is going to help us. What happened to Chef Jesse?
Luis, I think it was cutting off, so I couldn't hear what you were.
Oh, really? Oh, I was saying thank you for the wonderful introduction. And something just came to my mind. Jan, you were saying Chef Virginia. I didn't hear Chef Jesse.
Yeah, Chef Jesse will be a special role today, but I believe he will show himself later on. So I will leave that chance to him.
Yeah, thank you, Jan.
But great question. Thanks, Luis.
The thing is that HiGSA is taking over that kitchen. So Chef Virginia is part of HiGSA, you know? First, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to Janly, thank you to Jesse, thank you to Laura, thank to the CG people that is letting us to co-host this coffee hour. This is always a wonderful opportunity to participate and to make more friends. HiGSA, I'm sorry, my name is Luis Porto. As my friend Nivia was saying, can you hear me well?
I think you're a bit cutting off. So if you want to turn your camera off for now, just to present and talk, I think that could help a little better. I think he is offline. But Nivia, do you want to talk us more about the food and cuisine so that we can know more about it? Or if you have anything that you want to share with us?
I can share it. So while he comes back and introduce about HiGSA, I was just gonna tell experience that I had. So coming from Colombia and coming from the Caribbean, until last year, I have never ever done coconut rice. My grandma, my aunt, everyone knew how to do it, but I was never like interested because it takes a long time, and I was like, no, it's too hard for me. Until last year, everyone was in quarantine, right? I was also in quarantine, so I tried to like be a better chef. And so I tried to do arepas con huevo, or arepa, no, in Colombia it's called arepa e huevo. It's arepa that you put egg inside. I made something that is called deditos, but in Venezuela it's called tequeños, that is just like another type of fried food. I made a couple of things, and one of those was coconut rice. Of course, I couldn't do it like Jesse, or I couldn't do it like Virginia. You know, they did it by themselves. I have to call my grandma. And in one of the presentation, I have a picture when I have my grandma through WhatsApp, and she was explaining to me step by step how to make the coconut rice, because I didn't want to make the coconut rice through YouTube or the website where I wanted my grandma to help me with that. So I started like at 8 p.m. and I stay until like 12 making that rice, because you have to like do like a long process. You have to take I would say the meat from the coconut, take it out, then blend that, and then just like move it around for like a couple hours until I don't know. It's a very specific words that Virginia will tell you. So where you get like the the grease from the coconut, and then you can start preparing the rice. So Luis, you are here. Welcome back. Oh, Virginia Machado. Welcome guest chef. Oh, that's great. Well, Luis comes and like, are you here, Luis? I see you and then you leave.
Luis, I think you should be able to unmute yourself right now.
Yeah, now it's perfect. I was trying to unmute myself, but I was not able to. So sorry, I just had trouble with the internet connection. But yeah, can I continue from where I left, or do we just keep what we are doing, talking about the coconut rice?
No, you continue where you're talking. I was just like giving my experience about cooking the coconut.
Yeah, thank you for covering me up. Well, sorry about that. Yeah, mainly we want to, my name is Luis Porto. I am from Colombia, from Cartagena de Indias, the north coast of Colombia. I am a PhD student in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and I am actually serving as the HiGSA president. HiGSA is the Hispanic Graduate Student Association, and initially HiGSA was born as an organization for the Hispanic people to be connected in town, but now we are more than that. We are hosting different events in campus to connect with other people, not just Hispanic people. So everyone that is not a Hispanic is also welcome to our organization. We are so happy to have more and more friends. Here on the screen, you can see our list of events for this spring 2020. We know that as we are doing, we are putting our efforts in order to have our regular events, despite of all the situation. What we are doing is having our events through Zoom. Probably we are gonna have our last event of the year, which is the HiGSA Awards, in person. But please stay tuned. We are gonna share more information regarding it. Today we are having this coffee hour. By the way, thanks for all the help, Nivia and our HiGSA team. Yes, in 2 weeks, we're gonna have a meet and greet. It is just an event to show you more about HiGSA, so please stay tuned and come and participate in our event. Just to give you a hint, we are gonna have a virtual event. Probably we're gonna have a drive-through activity where we are going to share food with our attendants. And later in March or beginning of April, we are gonna have HiGSA Talks, which is also one of our biggest events. We are usually sharing presentations of our HiGSA members and also not HiGSA members, but presentation related to the Hispanic community. So please stay tuned for more information, and we would like to have you all in our next events. Yeah, with all of that said, I think it is time to go to the kitchen.
Is Virginia and Jesse ready?
Yes, if you don't mind, stop sharing the screen for now. I'm gonna check. Thank you. And thank you all for the brilliant presentation. It's so good. And thank you for being so enthusiastic and so genuinely to talk at this time. I know like everyone has been so overwhelmed in the Zoom, but I really enjoy the presentation and to share the same feeling. But I'm gonna cut the pace and let's see. Chef Virginia should be already coming.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Hour. This coffee hour is hosted by HiGSA. My name's Virginia. I am Vice President Alternate from HiGSA. And I just want to throw in a quick disclaimer there. This dish that we are making tonight, it's Arroz con Coco. It's a Colombian dish, but I am not Colombian, and prior to yesterday. I had never made this dish before. So I do encourage you guys to try it out and make it anyways. It's delicious and you're in for a great treat. So if there's no questions, we can go ahead and get started. So here we have all of our ingredients all set up. You're gonna need something to smash and cut on. So a cutting board will work nicely. We have our 2 coconuts, our handy hammer, which is gonna help us break these open. Maybe another knife, or maybe if you want a hard spoon or something to scrape the flesh out of the coconut once we break it open. So we have a can of coconut milk here because we were going to suggest that if you didn't want to go through the trouble of breaking open your coconuts, that you do the faster route and just boil a can of coconut milk. However, when we tried that, it did not work. So for this particular recipe, there are no shortcuts. You're gonna have to go ahead and cut open coconuts. However, I believe there are other recipes from other parts of Colombia where they do just use coconut milk from a can. So one of our other HiGSA members can tell you about that because I'm not 100% sure, but I think I heard something about that. Anywho, moving along, we have some rice, all measured out, salt, brown sugar, some water that we're gonna add once we're gonna make the rice. And this is boiled water that we're gonna add to our coconut chunks in here to make the coconut milk. Okay, so the funnest part of this demo, everyone ready to smash a coconut? Sorry if it gets loud. We have a nice breaking. Oh, this one was so much easier. It's great, beautiful. You see the nice juice, water. If I didn't have a mask on, I might try drinking it, but I do, so I won't. Pour it out over here. And what we want is to get this flesh out. So this back part, you can kind of ignore since we're not gonna be actually eating this, we're just gonna be making milk out of it. We wanna cut these into 1 inch or so pieces. Let's see if this comes out. Huh? Yay. So it is a little tough. Do we have the other one? I'm gonna break it up with my hands first. Might be a little easier, thank you. It might be a little easier to cut open with or cut into smaller pieces with your hands first because of the shape of the coconut. But then you just try to get all these pieces cut up into small-ish chunks for the blender. And let's see, this one's going to want to come out as smoothly. And we should just go ahead and try to break some. Yeah. No. Oh, I think actually, Nivia, can you mention the trick that you were telling me about yesterday on how to make this process a little bit easier?
Yeah, so my grandma, as I said, she was helping me. So when you don't have that type of cocoa that is super easy to take the white part, like the little meat of the coconut, what you could do, you just put the cocoa, like you cut it like a little bit and then you put it on the oven. So it gets a little bit warm and then you can use a spoon or a knife to take it out.
Sorry,
so
I think I bent this.
Difficult. But I guess that coconut is like super, wow, look at that. That had never happened to me.
I know this is not this easy the first time around.
But you have to be careful because the hair from the coconut can get on fire. So just put it like for 1 second and that's it.
All right, so once you have our coconut cut up into little pieces, we're just gonna put it over here in the blender. And then we're gonna pour our hot water. So to not spend too much time waiting for the hot water to boil out of your milk, try to only add in as much as almost to cover the coconut, but not too much. I think right around there should be good. A little bit more. Like that. Awesome. All right. You want this to be as fine as possible. So I'm going to start right now with the ice crush setting. So like the strongest setting, because obviously we have very big pieces of coconut here. So I'm going to do that for some time, and then I'll go down to like puree liquefy settings to make sure that we get it as fine as possible. So we have it nice and ground up. And now we take our strainer. And we, yeah, I think I got it. And you pour in as much as you can. And then you're gonna have to, so we have it in there, and you're gonna probably want to like squeeze out the rest of the milk that's in here. So we turn it. And then we squeeze. I made a joke about this when we were doing it the first time, that I've never milked a cow, but I kind of felt like I was milking a coconut this way. Which, you know, I'm not actually milking a coconut because, well, I think you can tell why. But it's an interesting experience.
So Virginia, we do got some questions about like, is this a savory dish or is it a sweet dish?
So I think Nivia could also add on to this, but it is like sweet, but it's a side dish. So even though it's sweet, it's not like a dessert. It's not like arroz con leche. It's just got like a hint of sweetness, but it's savory as well because it's rice. And we do add a little bit of salt in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then what we have left is just this pulp. And we're ready to go up here. That was stuck. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to boil the milk. And the purpose of doing this is so that we get the water first for all the water to evaporate. And then once all the water is gone, the coconut oil is gonna cook the remaining part of this substance. I'm not sure if it's like coconut like fats or coconut sugars or what this pulpy texture thing is. But we're gonna leave that to cook, and you can maybe start to see a little bit how it's begins to evaporate a little bit. What you'll see is water starting to form, like you can see the water starting to evaporate around the brim of the pot and or on the edge of the pot. And then the solids of the coconut milk are going to begin to go in towards the center of the pot. I'll try to give it a minute here. And then Nivia can add if you want to take a moment while we're showing them this to talk about that question that we had, that if this was a savory dish or a sweet dish.
So yeah, Luis, I think he answered in the
Yes.
in the text, or in the chat. So it's supposed to be for lunch or for dinner. So it's not a dessert. It's how do you call Luis? It's a side.
Yeah, it is a side. It is something that you can use. For example, it is the best companion you can find for fried fish. Sorry, in the northern part of Colombia. So like seafood. It is well used as a side for seafood.
Yeah, you can eat it with pargo, with tilapia, with shrimp. I was Cameroon. With shrimp, you can eat it with that. And so just imagine you be sitting down at the beach on tostones. So you guys, I believe, are familiar with the plantains that you fry. So in Colombia, they are called patacones, but in some places in Central America, yeah, in the Caribbean, they're called tostones. So you eat it with some salad plus the fish or the shrimp. So it's not a dessert. It's actually something that you would eat it with something salty.
Nice. So if you guys can see now, ooh, that's the wrong way. This has started to separate, and you can see that this is like getting more solids. It's not as much one homogeneous mixture of coconut milk, but now you're starting to see the parts kind of separate. And we're gonna leave it there on low. If I can manage to put this on the right amount of low to continue cooking, but I think that's still too high. And to continue separating. But one quick note before I show you what it's gonna look like at the end, you wanna spoon these sides over here so that they don't get too burnt, because these edges are gonna be the thing that gets burnt the fastest. So you wanna like, not necessarily, it's not like, I'm not gonna go in here and stir all this, but I'm gonna like push down those edges so that they're not getting too burnt. So we're gonna cover that up now and let that continue to do its thing. And then I'm gonna show you the finished product. So that ends up, all the water ends up evaporating, and then you get oils that cook this. And you wanna leave it to cook until it's this color. So when you first see it, like you're literally gonna hear as if you were frying, as if you had put like oil in the pan and something else that was like frying in that oil. But you wanna let it continue to do that and continue to fry until you get it nice and brown and caramelized like this. And so we're gonna warm this up. Which is this one? Nope, that's the back one. And I should probably move this. All right.
So
we're gonna start warming that one up.
I'm sorry, Virginia. That is called titote, like the brown part has their own name. But yeah, So you have to wait until like it's that color so you can proceed to the next step. Yeah, that's it.
You can see here too a little bit more how like the separation is happening. This is water boiling in there. I don't see, it's not as clear to see in the camera, but you can kind of tell those lighter parts are just water boiling out of the coconut milk mixture. So we're gonna let that continue to happen. And then over here, we're ready to add, once you have it down like this, then you're ready to add your rice first, because you want the rice to pick up all of that nice caramel yumminess at the bottom. And I remembered that I like this. I'm gonna try and really scrape up as much as you can of that nice brown caramel mixture at the bottom. Give the rice as much flavor as possible. And I know that like from home, I feel bad because you really don't get the full effect of this, because the smells coming out of this kitchen right now are amazing. Like I came in and I wasn't hungry, but just the smell of this coconut milk when you're doing this evaporation process to get to this, and this caramelized coconut milk substance, it's unbelievable.
Yes, that's true.
Very coconutty, very delicious.
Sorry, Chef, I was saying that, yeah, that's probably the most important part of the rice, you know. In that, you are gonna find the secret of the rice. For example, in my case, I have tried to do it with canned milk. It's not the same, yeah.
All right, so once you have picked up all that nice caramelization with the rice, you add in your teaspoon of salt, your 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. That was a big chunk. And your cups of water. Beautiful scissors. And stir everything in there. Yeah. Now it's just a waiting game. Any questions so far?
I think we got a question about like how many cups with like of water, rice to water, like the ratio, and also the coconut to rice.
Let me check the recipe. It says, there it is, okay. It says 2 cups of uncooked rice, and then your 3 cups of water are what we just put in. The 1 3/4 cups of hot water was for the making of the coconut milk. That's what I put in the blender.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Is that good? Okay. Yeah, no problem. And so we have the finished mixture here because we don't want to tease you for too long. This is the delicious coconut rice. Arroz con Coco. Very yummy. And just to make you guys all a little bit jealous, I'm going to say, you better make it. Very good. I'm telling you, I really think it's worth the trouble of like smashing your own coconut because the flavor is just so different. And it's kind of fun. You know, it's like a de-stressor tool when you're feeling overwhelmed in these times. Just grab a coconut, decide to make this recipe and go for it. Are there any questions?
Well, I think that's pretty much about it, but I do want to say that good job, Chef Nivia. Like, this is excellent. We really enjoyed your share.
Thank you. And I will turn it over
much.
to Nivia and the rest of HiGSA to continue this coffee hour activities.
Yeah, and also say hi to the Chef Jessie behind the scenes.
Yeah, cameraman. Here, I'll hold it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, you can change it. Okay.
The camera one. Okay. He's still here with a different hat, but he's still Chef Jesse. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Great job. Amazing. Amazing.
I really enjoyed it. I was like so surprised like how she matched that so easily. It was like so amazing.
Yeah, I think that the kind of like the tricky part is when you have to pick the coconut. You have to make sure that when you pick the coconut, you do this so you hear the water. So I think when it has the water, it will be easier for you to just like, like to smash it.
Mm,
It will be easier to break it. So that is also like
gotcha.
the gram.
Well, thank you so much. It's a teamwork, and also thank you, HiGSA. But this is not end of story. Nivia, do you want to introduce briefly about our breakout room later on?
Of course. So since this is a HiGSA event, but also it's kind of like a Colombian event, we also wanted to show you some of the beautiful and wonderful things that our culture and our country has for you. So we have 4 people, including myself and including Luis, who are going to be hosting the breakout rooms. So in one room, we're going to have Luis Porto talking about HiGSA. So if you wanted to know anything about HiGSA, what we have for the semester, for the year, where do we do in general, how we help people in the community in Tallahassee. And if you wanted to sign, so we have a WhatsApp group that you get all the information from Tallahassee, from the US, from around the world, you will find it in WhatsApp. So you can give him the information or an email so we can get in contact with him. Also, we have a music or the dancing breakout room that will be with Adriana Barahona, who is going to be teaching you or telling you more about salsa, merengue, bachata. She said that she was going to put champeta, so let's hope she's going to add that, which is just a music from the coast of Colombia. Like you don't hear that much like in the inside Bogota or Medellin. Then we have our wonderful Michael Napoli, who is gonna be talking about his perspective from an outside, the outsider. So he has been in Colombia, he loved Medellin, he has been exposed to so many Colombians around, HiGSA and during his master program. So he's gonna talk about that. Just be with him. He's gonna talk about the experience and that Colombia is not all about Escobar, drugs, narco traffic, trafficking. We also have wonderful things to offer to everyone. And then if you want to come with me, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about the coconut rice, more about Colombia and everything that Colombia has to offer too. So it's called the exotic cuisine. So you guys pick and choose, but we hope you stay here.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.